Chosen one, listen, heaven has fallen silent, and the universe leans closer. This isn't just another moment. This is the moment where eternity meets your reality. The eyes of God are fixed on you. Every delay, every disappointment, every silent night has brought you right here. You thought you were forgotten, but heaven was preparing an announcement. There are times when the noise of life fades, and heaven itself seems to hold its breath because a chosen one is about to rise. You were not created to wander aimlessly. You were designed with intention, marked with divine fire. That unease in your spirit, that quiet knowing that you're meant for more, that's heaven's fingerprint on your soul. You've walked through storms that others wouldn't have survived. The betrayals cut deep. The isolation felt endless. And yet, something in you refused to die. That was not mere resilience, that was divine preservation. God kept you alive because destiny demanded it. There's a purpose breathing inside you, and the world hasn't seen the fullness of it yet. There's a scripture that captures the essence of what is happening to you now. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 2, verse 21. Those who cleanse themselves from what is dishonorable will be instruments for special purposes, made holy, useful to the master, and prepared to do any good work. Do you understand what that means? Chosen one. You are not ordinary clay. You've been set apart, shaped for extraordinary assignments. The pain didn't disqualify you, it purified you. The rejection didn't end you, it redefined you. Heaven has been silent not to ignore you, but to sharpen you in secrecy. You are the weapon being forged in heaven's hidden forge. Every tear was oil, every heartbreak, a chiseling of your character. Every unanswered prayer was a setup for something greater. You thought God was far, but He was closer than your breath, teaching you how to walk by faith, not by sight. Now, the silence breaks. The Spirit of God is whispering your name through time and space, calling you to rise. The shadows that tried to bury you are trembling because they know the light in you can no longer be contained. You carry a flame that exposes deceit, a voice that shakes atmospheres, and a heart that heaven trusts with responsibility. You don't have to chase validation. Heaven has already approved you. You don't have to fight for recognition. Heaven is about to spotlight you. The Lord says, "What I have placed in you is not seasonal, it is eternal." You have endured the testing season, and now the reward season begins. Chosen one, you have no idea how proud heaven is. Even God was impressed by your perseverance, how you stayed faithful when no one clapped, how you prayed when no one saw, how you gave when you had little. You walked through valleys and never let go of hope. That endurance has been recorded in heaven's archives. So now, stand tall. Shake the dust off. This silence you've endured is ending with a sound, the sound of divine acceleration. What was locked will open. What was delayed will manifest. What seemed impossible will suddenly become testimony. The hand of God is rewriting your story even now. Do not fear what's next. Heaven has already gone ahead of you. You're not walking into uncertainty. You're stepping into prophecy. The world will soon see what God saw in you all along, a light that cannot be hidden. A warrior who carries divine authority, a voice that carries the sound of heaven itself. This is your moment to rise from obscurity into divine visibility. Don't hold back. Don't apologize for the glow that's returning to your spirit. You were meant to stand out, not blend in. You were meant to carry fire, not comfort. You were meant to transform, not conform. And if you feel this word resonating deep inside, it's because heaven is confirming it right now. Take this as your sign the silence has ended. The scroll of your destiny is being unsealed. Step into your calling boldly. without hesitation, and watch what happens when heaven decides it's your turn. If this message spoke to your spirit, like, share, and subscribe so the flame reaches others who are awakening just like you. And in the comments, declare your alignment with heaven by typing 777, a prophetic number of divine perfection and completion. This is your sign. This is your season. This is your rise. You remember those hidden years, don't you? Chosen one. The seasons where everything seemed still, where you cried out but heard nothing in return. Those were not wasted years, they were holy years. God hid you not to punish you, but to prepare you. You were in His refining fire, molded and purified for what only you could carry. People saw your silence and mistook it for weakness, but heaven saw it as surrender. While others chased attention, you learned the art of waiting. While others sought platforms, you built character. The world may have overlooked you, but heaven never did. God's eyes were on you in the quiet corners of your pain, watching how you handled being unseen. You didn't realize it then, but you were being trained in sacred obscurity. The fire wasn't meant to destroy you, it was designed to reveal what was indestructible within you. You lost friends, opportunities, and even confidence at times. But in every loss, there was a lesson. The isolation that once broke you now becomes the testimony that builds others. When heaven sets someone apart, it often begins with hiding. Think of David in the fields, Joseph in the prison, Esther in silence before the throne. Each one had a hidden chapter before divine promotion. You were no different. The waiting shaped your discernment, sharpened your spirit, and strengthened your faith. God was making sure that when your name was finally spoken in rooms you hadn't entered, your heart would be ready to carry the weight of it. And in that secret refining, heaven whispered truth to your spirit, though your flesh couldn't always understand. God said, "I am not withholding from you, I am protecting you." Every not yet was actually, "I'm building something greater." Every closed door was mercy in disguise. The Word of God speaks in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 3. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver, and they will bring offerings in righteousness to the Lord. Do you feel it now? That verse is your story. God sat beside your fire. He didn't leave you to burn. He watched the temperature closely, ensuring that you were shaped but not shattered, cleansed but not consumed. He has been crafting something in you that cannot be fabricated by human hands. Purity through process, humility through pain, authority through endurance. Those long nights of questioning your worth were heaven's classroom. The tears that fell silently were watering the roots of the strength now growing within you. You were being refined in the hidden furnace of purpose. That's why nothing ordinary ever satisfied you. You tried to fit in, but it never worked because your spirit recognized what your mind couldn't articulate. You were never made for average. The hidden years also taught you something precious: how to hear the whisper of God in the dark. You learned that His silence doesn't mean absence. You began to recognize His presence not in the noise of miracles, but in the quiet strength that kept you standing when you wanted to fall. You learned faith not through abundance, but through lack. You discovered joy not through celebration, but through surrender. Every lesson, every scar, every quiet battle became part of your divine resume. Now, as the fire cools and the gold emerges, heaven smiles. You're not who you used to be. You don't crave the same validation. You don't seek the same approval because you've tasted the sweetness of divine intimacy. Your spirit carries a weight now, not the heaviness of struggle, but the gravity of purpose. You've become one of those heaven trusts with mystery. You've learned the sacred rhythm of preparation to move when God says go, to stay when He says wait, and to trust even when you don't understand. Look back not with regret, but with revelation. Those years you called lost were heaven's investment. The prayers that seemed unanswered were actually accumulating interest in eternity. Now, as the refining season nears completion, you stand stronger, wiser, purer, a vessel ready for divine assignment. You may not have realized it, but even in silence, your transformation was visible to heaven. God looked at you in the fire and saw what you would become, a reflection of His own endurance and love. The hidden years of fire were never about survival. They were about transformation. And now, chosen one, the silver gleams. Chosen one. Do you remember the early signs? The moments in your childhood when you felt different, when you saw what others couldn't see, felt what others ignored, and carried emotions too deep for your age. You were set apart early. Even before you could name it, heaven had already marked you. You didn't blend in because you were never meant to. Others laughed at your sensitivity, your deep thinking, your tendency to withdraw. But heaven called those traits signals of divine selection. You saw truth in small things, beauty in broken places. You carried empathy like a crown, even when the world told you it was weakness. God had placed eternity in your heart before you even understood time. You weren't rejected because you were unworthy, you were rejected because you were radiant. The enemy saw your potential long before you did, and every form of rejection was his attempt to convince you otherwise. But he failed. What he tried to use as shame, God transformed into strength. You've always known there was something different about you, a stirring, a sense that you didn't quite belong anywhere. That wasn't confusion. That was divine recognition. Heaven's frequency has always been tuned to your spirit, calling you deeper while the world tried to hold you shallow. It was written in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. That verse isn't just history. It's your personal prophecy. You were known before you existed. That means your mistakes can't erase your mission. Your past cannot cancel what God has already ordained. The blueprint of your purpose existed long before the pain that tried to derail it. Every moment of confusion was simply heaven waiting for you to remember what was already written. You may not have realized it, but God has been orchestrating divine appointments all along. The teachers who encouraged you, the dreams that refused to fade, the moments where something inside whispered, "There's more to you." That was heaven, slowly unveiling your design. Even your struggles had purpose. The battles that seemed random were actually spiritual training. The loneliness wasn't isolation, it was incubation. While others were celebrated early, you were being rooted deeply. And now, the deeper your roots, the higher you will rise. Chosen one, it's time you stop apologizing for being different. Stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. The very qualities that made you misunderstood are the same ones heaven will now use to move mountains. You've been trained in silence, tested in obscurity, and anointed through tears. You carry the fragrance of one who has walked with God in hidden places. When you look back now, you'll see the thread divine fingerprints over every event. Even your detours led to destiny. Every no from man was a redirection toward God's yes. And now, the season of recognition begins. Heaven is about to echo what it has always known: you are chosen, not by popularity, but by purpose. The world will soon see what heaven has seen all along. You are not simply called, you are set apart. Your voice will carry healing, Your presence will shift atmospheres, and your obedience will open doors no man can close. And here's the truth, the mark on your life isn't a burden, it's a seal. It identifies you as one who carries divine authority. Wherever you go, heaven's backing follows. The same God who set you apart before your birth is the one who now sends you forward. So lift your head. The days of hiding are over. You are stepping into a season where your difference becomes your distinction, and your distinction becomes your destiny. Now, if this word touches the place in you that remembers the place that always knew you were called, let your spirit agree in faith. Comment "I am chosen" below. It's not just a phrase, it's a prophetic declaration. When you write it, you align your heart with heaven's decree over your life. You are chosen, and nothing can unmark what God Himself has set apart. Chosen one. The fire that once surrounded you was never meant to consume, it was meant to refine. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every loss that tore through your spirit was part of a sacred process. The refining flame within you was God's way of separating what was temporary from what was eternal. He wasn't trying to destroy you. He was sculpting you into something the world had never seen. You didn't walk through that fire because you were weak. You walked through it because heaven trusted you with transformation. The fire only touches what it can change, and God knew there was gold buried inside your soul that could only be revealed through the heat. At times, you begged for relief, and you pleaded for understanding. You asked, "Why me?" and heaven answered not with words, but with silence that shaped you. You were being trained to hear God not in explanations, but in endurance. He was teaching you that faith doesn't always mean clarity. Sometimes it means standing still while the flames dance around you, knowing you won't be burned. You've cried enough tears to water a desert. You've walked through betrayals that cracked your spirit open, yet something inside refused to die. That something was your calling, your unshakable core, your divine DNA that could not be scorched by pain. We find in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, "I will bring that group through the fire and make them pure. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, 'They are my people,' and they will say, 'The Lord is our God.'" Those words are the mirror of your journey. You were that group, the one He brought through, not around, the fire. And though it felt like destruction, it was sanctification. Heaven knew you could withstand what others couldn't. You were handpicked to endure what would have crushed a lesser heart. The refining flame didn't just change your circumstances, it changed your nature. You no longer react the same way. You no longer crave the same validation. The wounds that once bled now breathe wisdom. Pain has become your teacher, and patience your closest companion. In that furnace, you discovered who God truly is. You found Him not as a distant deity, but as the refiner sitting beside the fire, watching carefully, ensuring you were not consumed. He didn't leave the room. He stayed, monitoring every spark, adjusting the temperature, waiting for the reflection of His own image to appear in you. You emerged different. The same people who once questioned your silence will soon marvel at your strength. They'll wonder how you survived, and you'll know the answer: you didn't survive by chance, but by choice, by choosing faith over fear, surrender over bitterness, trust over understanding. The fire purified your motives. It stripped you of pride, of dependency on people, of illusions about control. It taught you the difference between what's good and what's God. It taught you to wait for His timing, to walk without explanation, to love without conditions, to worship without needing answers. And now, you carry something the fire couldn't destroy: authenticity. There is a depth in you that can't be faked, a wisdom that can't be taught, a strength that can't be broken. You've learned to speak softly but carry divine power. You've learned that humility isn't weakness, it's heaven's language. The fire revealed not just your endurance, but your identity. You are not the wounded one anymore, you are the refined one. Every scar has turned into prophecy. Every bruise glows like a reminder that you were chosen to endure and chosen to rise. There's something about people who've been through fire. Their eyes carry light. Their words carry authority. Their presence carries peace. You've become one of them. You no longer speak from theory, but from testimony. When you speak, heaven listens, because you've proven that you can be trusted with fire and still choose faith. The refining season has changed everything about you: how you pray, how you love, how you walk. You no longer chase outcomes, you rest in obedience. You no longer seek favor, you radiate it. You've learned that true power doesn't come from what you hold, but from what you've surrendered. And that's why God was impressed, not because you were perfect, but because you stayed. You didn't run from the heat, you let it make you holy. You allowed the flame to transform your ashes into glory. And now, when heaven looks at you, it sees a reflection, one who has been through the fire and come out shining. Chosen one. There comes a sacred moment when heaven begins to unveil what was always written, the scroll of your destiny. It's the moment when what you've carried privately begins to be recognized publicly. You start to see the alignment, the divine order behind what once felt like chaos. The pieces fit. The pain starts to make sense, and for the first time, you realize none of it was wasted. You are standing at the threshold of revelation. The divine record concerning your life, the one written long before your birth, is unfolding before you now. Every step, every season, every scar is written in that scroll. You are not wandering. You are walking a preordained path. The doors that open, the people you meet, the strength you suddenly feel, they're all part of heaven's script. It is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 16. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. You were known before you were visible. You were seen before you were strong. That means your life is not random, it is revelation. When others called you lost, heaven called you written. When others called you late, heaven whispered, right on time. Now, as the scroll unfolds, you will notice something new, divine timing working on your behalf. Things that once seemed delayed will suddenly accelerate. Connections will form, opportunities will appear, and strength will rise inside you like morning light. The favor that was hidden will begin to flow, not because you chased it, but because you were faithful in the waiting. Chosen one. Heaven is not finished writing your story. You are stepping into a chapter where your obedience opens doors that effort never could. And as you walk through these new doors, remember, revelation always carries responsibility. What God reveals, He expects you to steward. That is why this message, this community, this very space where your spirit is being strengthened, exists to help you stay aligned with your divine calling. Every word written, every whisper from heaven that you hear here is part of that unfolding scroll. This space isn't just content, it's communion. It's a meeting ground between your spirit and heaven's purpose. And because this work flows from faith, it also continues through faith. If these messages have lit a candle inside you, consider placing one small drop of oil back into the flame. Your voluntary gift, however small, helps the light keep burning for others still wandering in darkness. There is no demand here, only invitation. Imagine each act of giving as a quiet ripple, spreading warmth beyond your reach. You're not financing a voice, you're fueling a vision. But whether you give or not, Know this: you are part of something divine simply by listening, by receiving, by allowing your spirit to awaken. Because every amen whispered in agreement, every yes spoken in faith, sends ripples through eternity. So as this scroll of destiny continues to unfold before you, stay faithful. Let your actions align with your anointing. Walk with quiet confidence, knowing heaven is still writing your story and every line ends in victory. If this word has touched your heart, don't keep it hidden in silence. Share it like light spilling through a window. Click like to add your spark to this flame. Share it so another soul can find warmth. Subscribe so this river of revelation keeps flowing into your days. And if your heart feels led, give not as payment, but as participation, a gentle echo of gratitude to keep this lamp burning. Remember, chosen one, the scroll of your life is still being written, and every act of faith, every whisper of obedience, every seed of kindness becomes another line of glory in heaven's book about you. Even now, heaven leans closer, watching what you'll do with what you've heard. Your response, whether a word, a share, or a seed, echoes through eternity. You are not just hearing. You are participating in prophecy fulfilled. And as this light travels through time, it will find others like you, hearts ready to awaken, spirits ready to rise. The flame you help sustain will one day guide someone home, and they will whisper your name in gratitude, never knowing you were the one who kept the lamp burning. Chosen one. Something powerful is shifting around you. What once pressed against you now begins to bow before you. You have walked through silence, endured fire, and survived rejection, and now the mantle of the unshakable rests upon your shoulders. Heaven is clothing you with endurance that does not break, faith that does not fade, and peace that does not depend on circumstance. You have become different. The way you carry yourself, the way you see the world, even the way you respond to pain, all of it has changed. What used to shake you now strengthens you. What once wounded you now reminds you of how far you've come. The old version of you wouldn't have made it here, but the new you, the refined you, stands tall under divine covering. You may not realize it, but the very battles that tried to destroy you have become your crown. The same enemies that once mocked you now serve as proof of your resilience. You are no longer a wanderer looking for direction. You are a warrior walking in divine authority. The scars you carry are not signs of weakness, but symbols of survival. The Word of God declares in the second letter to Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair." This verse describes your spirit perfectly. Pressed but not crushed, tried but not broken. You have learned the art of standing still while storms rage. You have discovered that peace isn't the absence of battle, it's the presence of God within it. You wear resilience now like armor. There's a calm power in you that unsettles darkness. You walk into rooms and shift atmospheres without saying a word. It's not arrogance, it's anointing. The authority of the unshakable cannot be faked, because it is born only through fire and surrender. Chosen one. Heaven has equipped you to remain steady when others crumble. Your endurance has become a testimony. The very ground that once cracked beneath you now carries your footsteps with purpose. Every season that tried to break you was actually teaching you balance, how to move when others freeze, how to stand when others fall. The mantle of the unshakable is not loud, it's quiet strength. It's the kind of power that speaks through peace, not noise. It's being able to forgive when you're misunderstood, to bless those who walked away, to smile even when things don't make sense. It's the supernatural ability to stay grounded in chaos because your roots are no longer in fear, but in faith. You are becoming like a mountain, still, enduring, unmoved by shifting winds. Storms may surround you, but they can no longer define you. You've learned to bow only to the wind of the Spirit, not to the winds of circumstance. And now, heaven watches as you rise higher, carrying authority born from affliction. There will still be challenges. Yes, but you will see them differently. You'll no longer panic when doors close. You'll recognize it as protection. You'll no longer question delays. You'll know they are divine pauses preparing you for precision. Every disappointment will now become a doorway to deeper revelation. This is what it means to carry the mantle, to live anchored while others drift. To speak life even when surrounded by decay. To stand tall even when storms whisper failure. You are not untested, you are proven. You have become a vessel heaven can trust. And now, this mantle will not only cover you, it will flow through you. Others will find strength in your steadiness. They'll look at you and see what divine endurance looks like. You won't have to preach it. You'll live it. Chosen one, your journey has been heavy, but the reward is holy. You have become the living proof that faith still stands, that light still wins, that God still restores. You are the unshakable, steady, refined, radiant. If this word bears witness with your spirit, take a moment and declare it. Comment 888 below, not as ritual, but as revelation. The number 8 represents new beginnings, and this moment marks the start of your next divine chapter. When you type it, you're not just responding, you're agreeing with heaven's decree that says you will not be moved. Chosen one, the realm around you has begun to stir. What you cannot see with your eyes, your spirit can already sense movement, alignment, divine orchestration. You are stepping into the season when heaven's hosts begin to whisper your name. It's not imagination, it's manifestation. The unseen is starting to shift in your favor. There are moments in history when angels move not because of noise, but because of obedience. You have reached such a moment. Your faith, your persistence, your quiet prayers whispered through exhaustion have become signals that heaven cannot ignore. What you released in tears has now become a sound in eternity, and the response is movement. You must understand this truth. The spiritual realm reacts to faith. Every yes you have given, every temptation you've resisted, every time you forgave when it hurt, all of it has been recorded. You thought those choices were small, but in heaven's courts they echoed like thunder. That's why you feel the atmosphere changing. Angels have been dispatched on your behalf. According to what is revealed in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12. Then he continued, "Do not be afraid. Daniel, since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them. Your prayers were never lost. They were stored. Every word you spoke in faith traveled beyond the walls of your room and reached the throne of the Almighty, and though the response seemed delayed, it was never denied. Heaven's timing is perfect, not early, not late. The moment your heart aligned with His will, heaven began moving toward you. You are surrounded now by help you cannot see, divine forces arranging protection, guidance, and favor. The doors you thought were locked are being touched by unseen hands. The relationships that faded away were removed to make room for alignment. Even the confusion you felt was heaven's way of shifting you toward clarity. Nothing has been random. Sometimes, when heaven whispers your name, it doesn't sound like music, it sounds like disruption. Things break, comfort zones shake, and routines collapse. But in truth, it's not chaos, it's construction. God is building something around you that requires rearrangement. Every shake is an invitation to trust the builder's plan. There are angels assigned to your journey not just for protection, but for preparation. They've been clearing paths, influencing hearts, softening resistance, and positioning resources. The very people who will open new doors for you have already been stirred in their spirit without even knowing why. Heaven is strategic like that, quiet yet precise. You are not walking alone. Every time you feel that sudden peace in the middle of chaos, it's not random, that's the whisper of angels nearby. Every time you narrowly escape something you didn't see coming, it's not luck, that's divine interception. Heaven has been working even in your sleep. Chosen one. Heaven doesn't forget those who endure. The whispers you feel in prayer, the goosebumps that rise when truth is spoken, the sudden warmth during worship, those are confirmations that you are surrounded by divine presence. You are not forgotten. You are being fortified. The whispers of heaven are often soft because God trusts you to listen closely. You've matured past the need for loud signs. Now He speaks to your spirit in subtler ways, a word that resonates, a thought that brings peace, a reminder that refuses to fade. This is the communication of the mature heaven speaking through inner knowing, not outer noise. In this sacred season, pay attention to divine nudges. If you feel led to move, to speak, to wait, do so. The instructions you receive now are strategic. Heaven's alignment requires your obedience, your yes, your timing, and your patience are keys to unlocking what is being prepared. The whispers of heaven are increasing because your assignment is near. The same angels that strengthened Daniel are strengthening you. You will feel courage where fear once ruled. You will sense peace where confusion once lived. The supernatural will become natural to you. Chosen one, you have entered a realm of partnership, heaven working with you, not just for you. It's not about striving anymore. It's about synchronizing. Every word you speak in faith will now carry weight. Every step you take will cause heaven to echo your motion. And though you cannot see them, heaven's messengers are already preparing the way. You don't have to fight for what's next, it's already been spoken. All you must do is stay in alignment, stay sensitive, and stay faithful. Heaven is whispering your name, and the earth is about to respond. Chosen one. Something sacred is awakening within you, not a feeling, not an emotion, but authority. It begins quietly, almost unnoticed, like dawn creeping across a dark horizon. You start to sense a strength rising, a confidence that does not come from yourself but from the one who called you. Heaven is awakening your authority because your next season will require it. Authority isn't loud, it's steady. It's not about commanding others, it's about commanding peace within yourself. The awakening of authority begins when you realize that you no longer have to beg for what God has already given. You don't plead for light, you speak it. You don't chase favor, you carry it. You don't fear opposition, you discern it and walk in victory. You have spent years learning how to survive, but now you are learning how to rule. This is the shift from endurance to dominion. God is teaching you to move from please to declare, from waiting to walking, from hoping to operating. Your words are beginning to align with heaven's words, and creation will start to respond. The Spirit spoke through the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 19. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. Those words are not a promise for the distant future, they are a revelation for now. Authority is not a title, it's a posture. It's when your soul stands in agreement with heaven's decree. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, you are a vessel of command. You carry the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead, the same power that silences storms, heals hearts, and dismantles darkness. This awakening doesn't come with fanfare. It comes with clarity. You start to realize that not every battle deserves your energy. Not every voice deserves your attention. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop explaining and start exemplifying. You understand that true power is not proven through argument but through atmosphere. Your presence shifts what words cannot. There was a time when you doubted your worth, when fear dictated your choices, but now you walk differently. You no longer look for approval. You carry assurance. You no longer panic at resistance. You recognize it as confirmation that you are advancing. Even the way you pray changes. It becomes less about asking and more about aligning. Authority is a sacred inheritance, but it requires maturity. Heaven only releases power to those who have learned to handle it with humility. That is why your past seasons were filled with restraint. God was testing not your passion, but your patience. He was teaching you that authority without surrender becomes arrogance, and power without purity becomes poison. You are stepping into the kind of authority that calms storms simply by existing. Your peace will be your greatest weapon. The enemy's chaos loses power in your stillness. You'll notice that when you walk into places of confusion, order begins to take form. When you speak, things that were hidden start to surface. When you pray, the unseen begins to realign. Heaven trusts you now. You have proven that you won't use authority for control, but for compassion. You will not wield it for applause, but for impact. You understand that every word you speak carries creative potential to heal, to build, to restore. That's why God had to refine your voice before He released your volume. Chosen one. The awakening of your authority is not a destination, it's a transformation. Every day you will walk deeper into it, learning how to move not in emotion but in revelation. There will be moments when your authority will confront darkness, not through aggression, but through divine assurance. And when that happens, the atmosphere will shift before you even speak. The power within you will not always roar. Sometimes it will whisper. But even that whisper will carry the weight of heaven. You will no longer fear the unknown, because you'll understand that the unknown is where your authority shines the brightest. So walk forward, not as one who hopes for permission, but as one who carries divine commission. You were never meant to blend in with the powerless. You were meant to stand among those who command by faith, not by force. The awakening has begun, and heaven watches as you rise calm, radiant, and unshakably bold. Chosen one, you've come far further than you realize. The battles that once chained you have started to lose their grip. What you couldn't see before is now clear. The delays were never denials. They were divine detours. You have entered a sacred moment, the breaking of chains, the end of waiting, the end of... There's a sound in the spirit, a sound of release. What was held up is now being loosed. The barriers that seemed immovable are cracking under heaven's command. You've cried long enough. You've waited faithfully. You've proven your endurance. Now heaven says, move forward. The season of delay is over. You see, every chain that held you wasn't made of iron, it was made of fear, doubt, and false identity. They weren't visible to your eyes, but heavy on your heart. Those invisible bindings told you, you're not enough. It's too late. You'll never change, but today the light of truth exposes them for what they are, lies. Scripture declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 2, I will go before you and will level the mountains. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. That promise is your present reality. The God who levels mountains is walking ahead of you. The things you once feared will fear you now. Every closed door that was built to block you will open because heaven has decided it's time. The breaking of chains doesn't always happen with noise. Sometimes it's quiet. It's the moment you forgive the one who never apologized. It's when you stop replaying what hurt you and start expecting what heals you. It's when you stop waiting for validation and start walking in value. That's freedom. Chosen one. Every cycle that kept repeating is now being broken. The confusion that clouded your thoughts is lifting. You are no longer stuck between almost and not yet. This is your crossing season. Every unseen battle you fought in prayer has led to this divine unlocking. Heaven has declared movement. Do not be surprised if things begin to shift suddenly. Relationships that drained you will fade. Opportunities that align will find you. It won't make sense to others. That's because this move isn't man-made. It's miraculous. The pace will increase, but so will your peace. You are stepping out of waiting and into walking. There's something powerful about divine timing. When the moment arrives, everything that once resisted you now becomes a tool to advance you. Even the mistakes you made will turn into momentum. God wastes nothing, not even your detours. The delay was just a setup for divine precision. The chains are breaking in every area, not just spiritually, but mentally and emotionally. The heavy thoughts that used to pull you down are losing their power. You'll notice it, the weight is lighter, your steps are freer, and your prayers flow without struggle. That's the sound of liberation. Chosen one, heaven is smiling because you didn't give up when everything told you to. You stayed in the fight when surrender would have been easier. You held on to hope when hope had no proof. And now, you stand on the threshold of release. This is not theory, this is testimony. You are living proof that patience and purpose eventually meet. So breathe. This is your exhale moment. The pressure you've carried is leaving. The road ahead will not feel like the road behind. You are walking into answered prayers, into divine clarity, into long-awaited peace. Chains don't only fall when you run, sometimes they fall when you finally stand still and say, enough. That's what heaven sees right now, a warrior who's not fighting to survive anymore, but standing to reign. If this message touches the deepest part of you, the place that's ready to walk free, let heaven hear your agreement. Comment. Chains fall now below. Say it not as repetition, but as revelation. When you write it, you declare with heaven, I am no longer bound. Comment, chains fall now. When you write those 3 words, you're not just typing, you're testifying. You're agreeing with heaven's decree that says every spiritual, emotional, and mental restraint must break. Your comment becomes a spiritual echo, a visible yes that marks the end of bondage and the beginning of breakthrough. Each letter you write is symbolic, like striking the final blow against every wall that tried to contain you. When you declare chains fall now, you're choosing faith over fear, movement over stagnation, purpose over paralysis. It's not about being seen, it's about being freed. This is your moment of release, and heaven is recording your response. Chosen one. This is the moment where your endurance meets reward. You've walked through fire, waited in silence, and still, you didn't give up. Heaven saw it all, the nights you whispered prayers with trembling hands, the days you carried hope like a fragile flame in the wind. And now, that light is becoming a crown. This crown is not of gold or jewels, but of endurance formed from the faith that refused to die. It glows with quiet beauty, woven from every tear you shed, every yes you whispered through pain, every act of obedience no one else saw. It is heaven's way of saying, you made it through what was meant to break you. The Word of God reminds us in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. This crown is more than a symbol, it's a testimony. You are proof that endurance is never wasted. What the world called delay, heaven called preparation. The hardships were molding you into one who could carry glory without pride, compassion without compromise, and strength without hardness. You see, the beauty of endurance is that it transforms pain into purpose. It's like a seed buried in darkness, unseen, forgotten, yet growing. You thought you were stuck underground, but heaven was letting your roots grow deep enough to carry destiny. And now, you've broken through the soil. You are rising into light. Chosen one, your story is about to inspire others. The same roads that once tore your feet will one day guide others to freedom. Every scar has turned into a signpost for someone still searching for hope. You've become a living message that says, it's possible. God still redeems. Now, as your light grows brighter, let your heart remain soft. Let gratitude be the gold that keeps your crown shining. The journey wasn't just about surviving, it was about remembering who your strength comes from. The real glory isn't in the applause of people, but in the whisper of heaven that says, well done. Every time you encourage another soul, you polish that crown. Every time you forgive them, it gleams brighter. Every time you choose faith over fear, another jewel is added. You are carrying a masterpiece built from perseverance. And even when you can't see it, heaven does. Chosen one. This space where you gather, where words meet spirit, is like a garden one where faith flowers, hope takes root, and courage grows strong. Every message here is a seed planted in hearts around the world. And like every garden, it flourishes when many hands nurture it. If these words have watered your spirit, consider pouring a drop of water back into this garden. Not out of pressure, but out of love. Think of it as adding one more rose to the field, a sign of gratitude, a symbol of shared light. Whether it's a prayer, a kind word, or a small offering, it becomes part of the fragrance that reaches others still walking through their night. When you give, you're not paying for words, you're partnering with purpose. You're ensuring that this voice continues to reach the weary, the waiting, the forgotten. Each act of generosity becomes a ripple, carrying light further than you can imagine. And if your heart simply wants to listen, that's enough too. Just being here, just receiving, is part of the divine exchange. Heaven sees the quiet thank you behind your silence. If this message has spoken life into your spirit, show it by sharing the light. Click like it's not a button, it's a blessing you release. Share it like passing a candle in a dark room, so another can see. Subscribe not to a page, but to a flow of faith that keeps pouring into your life. And if you ever feel led, donate like planting a seed of hope into fertile soil. Watch how heaven multiplies it, not just for others, but for you. Because giving never empties, it overflows. Chosen one, you have earned your crown of endurance. Wear it with peace, walk with gentleness, and let your light be the invitation for others to find their way home. Chosen one, every story of rising light has a final confrontation, a last push from the shadows before dawn. When the enemy knows he's losing grip, he becomes desperate. That's what you're sensing now, the trembling of darkness in its final attempt to pull you back. But hear this clearly, it will not succeed. The enemy has studied your patterns, your weaknesses, your fears. He's seen your progress and recognizes that your next step threatens his influence. That's why the opposition feels heavier lately, why certain people or situations have resurfaced. It's not random, it's strategic. But even strategy fails when heaven has spoken victory over you. The Word of God reveals in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 13. Do not be afraid, and stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. That verse carries your reality, chosen one. The adversaries, the fears, the cycles that once haunted you, you will never see them again in the same way. God is closing the chapter on the warfare that has lingered too long. Still, the last attempt always comes before release. It may come as exhaustion, doubt, or unexpected conflict, and it may whisper, "You've gone too far to turn back," but not far enough to win. But those are lies. You are already standing on the ground of victory, you just haven't seen it manifest yet. The greatest danger now is not defeat, it's distraction. The enemy can't take your anointing, so he tries to divert it. He sends counterfeit opportunities, old wounds, and subtle voices that challenge your peace. But discernment has become your shield. You no longer react to every storm. You discern which ones are worth your energy. This is why heaven allowed certain pressures to remain, not to harm you, but to reveal the strength you've gained. You've learned to stand when nothing feels stable. You've learned to speak peace when chaos surrounds you. You've learned that faith isn't always a shout. Sometimes it's a steady breath saying, "I still believe." Your endurance is intimidating to darkness. The enemy's last attempt isn't proof of weakness, it's proof of worth. He doesn't chase what isn't valuable. He knows your obedience has started to shake foundations in the unseen. That's why resistance has increased. Every time you choose patience instead of panic, light expands and darkness loses territory. You might feel weary. You might wonder why the attacks persist even after progress. But think of it this way, the closer an army gets to victory, the fiercer the enemy fights. That's what's happening to you. The pressure is confirmation, not punishment. Heaven never allows battles without purpose. Even in these final confrontations, you are surrounded. Angels have been positioned at your sides. The same God who split seas and silenced storms has declared, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." The enemy's final blow will only serve as the stage for your testimony. Chosen one, hold your ground. You don't need to swing wildly, you just need to stand. The power is not in fighting harder, but in standing firmer. When you refuse to retreat, heaven fights for you. Every moment of endurance is another nail in the coffin of your opposition. You've been through enough to know the pattern struggle. Silence, then breakthrough. You're in the silence before the sound of victory. The enemy's final attempt is not to defeat you, but to deceive you into quitting too soon. Don't. The dawn is already touching the horizon. When you feel fear rise, remember the verse, "You will never see them again." This means the pain, the confusion, the heavy cycles, they will not return. What once chased you will now bow before you. You have passed the test, and the darkness knows it. From this point forward, your steps carry authority that can't be shaken. You've earned this calm. You've been trained for this peace. What used to scare you will now strengthen you. What used to drain you will now drive you. So breathe deeply, steady your spirit, and look ahead. The storm is not your ending, it's the announcement of a new beginning. The enemy's last attempt is heaven's signal that your victory is near. And soon, even your silence will preach the story of a soul that refused to break. Chosen one, something sacred is happening within you, a transformation not of image, but of essence. The pain that once broke you has now become power. The uncertainty that once weakened you has turned into wisdom. What was once hidden is now shining through, and heaven is calling this moment what it truly is, your prophetic transformation. You are not just changing, you are being revealed. The real you, the one God designed before fear, before failure, before rejection, is stepping forward. The layers of insecurity are peeling away. The old self, shaped by survival, is making room for the new self, formed by revelation. The transformation is not loud. It doesn't come with applause or announcement. It comes quietly through peace after storms, through calm after tears, through confidence that doesn't need validation. You wake up one day and realize you no longer carry the same heaviness. You no longer react to the same pain. You've been reborn from the inside out. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verse 2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. That verse describes your current season perfectly. You're being renewed, not repaired. God is not patching up the old you. He's unveiling the you that always existed beneath the pain. Transformation isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you were before the world taught you fear. Chosen one. The renewal of your mind is the rebirth of your authority. You are beginning to think in alignment with heaven. What once terrified you now challenges you. What once limited you now pushes you. You are being trained to see as God sees, not the temporary, but the eternal. Not the storm, but the sunrise beyond it. The prophetic transformation you're walking through is rewriting your story. Heaven is shifting how you see yourself, how you speak, and how you respond. The more your spirit aligns with divine truth, the less the world can manipulate your peace. You begin to walk in confidence, not arrogance, in clarity, not confusion. This is what happens when heaven renews a soul. Everything begins to reflect light differently. The same places that once drained you now inspire you. The same people who doubted you now witness your growth. You're not striving anymore, you're flowing. The transformation has turned you from a fighter into a flame. And with that flame comes a new type of authority. When you speak, there will be weight behind your words. When you walk, environments will shift. You won't need to announce your transformation. It will be seen, felt, and known. You will carry the fragrance of heaven, the quiet evidence that you have walked through refining fire and come out radiant. This transformation will confuse those who knew the old you. Some will question it, others will resist it. But do not shrink back to make them comfortable. You are not obligated to remain who they remember. God didn't invest years of refinement just for you to return to who you used to be. Chosen one, you've crossed the threshold where transformation becomes testimony. You are proof that change is possible, that faith still rebuilds, that light still rises. Every time you speak kindness when bitterness would be easier, you confirm your transformation. Every time you trust again after betrayal, heaven records another victory in your name. And now, heaven invites you to seal this moment not with fear, but with faith. This is not a coincidence. This is divine confirmation. You are not just being renewed, you are being reborn into purpose. The old story is closing, and a new one begins right here, right now. If this word resonates deep in your spirit, if you feel that quiet knowing that something inside you has shifted, comment 5555 below. That number represents divine grace and transformation. When you type it, you're declaring, I accept the new me. I align with heaven's design. Let it be your prophetic act of agreement, your way of saying, it is done. Chosen one. The air around you has changed. Something unseen hums beneath the noise of the world, a divine frequency calling the marked ones to rise. You've begun to feel it, that pull in your spirit, that sense that you are not the only one carrying this flame. Across continents, across languages, across time zones, others like you are awakening. Heaven is gathering its army of light. You've spent years thinking your pain was unique, your isolation uncommon, your burden misunderstood. Yet now the truth unfolds. There are others who have cried the same midnight prayers, walked through the same silent wilderness, and held the same stubborn hope that refuses to die. You were never alone. You were simply waiting for the signal. Each marked one has a scar that glows like prophecy. Some wear theirs in silence, others in song, others in scars unseen but deeply felt. These are not ordinary souls. They are vessels shaped through struggle, purified by fire, and strengthened through surrender. Together, you are the constellation heaven is forming separate stars, finally drawing near to ignite a sky long darkened by despair. It was spoken in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 7. They charge like warriors, they scale walls like soldiers. They all march straight ahead. They do not swerve from their path. That is the sound of the gathering unity in motion. Not a crowd, but a chorus. Not followers, but forerunners. You are part of a divine alignment where each soul stands in position, not to compete, but to complete the design. Heaven calls this union sacred because it was written before you were born. When God formed you, He also formed your counterparts, those whose gifts balance yours, whose courage mirrors yours, whose compassion fills what yours cannot. They are not coming to you by coincidence. They are coming because the same spirit that breathed purpose into you breathes through them as well. When the marked ones find one another, miracles multiply, revelation flows faster, healing deepens. The things that once drained you now empower you, because you no longer carry your calling alone. The gathering is not about numbers, it's about resonance. When two chosen hearts speak truth, the atmosphere trembles. When a dozen unite, whole regions awaken. You will recognize them not by titles or appearances, but by fire. Their eyes carry the same depth you've seen in your own reflection after prayer. Their voices hold a familiar frequency, conviction wrapped in gentleness. When they speak, your spirit rises in recognition, whispering, "Home." This is heaven's new order, not institutions built by hands, but movements built by hearts. No walls, no hierarchies, just alignment under the same divine command. It's the restoration of unity that was lost in the noise of ambition. The marked ones are returning to simplicity, love that heals, truth that cuts, light that reveals. The world will not understand this gathering. It will look like coincidence, friendship, creativity, revival, but heaven will know it as strategy. Every connection carries purpose. Every meeting is a thread in the larger tapestry of awakening. Chosen one, when you encounter another marked soul, honor the moment. Don't rush it. Don't overanalyze it. Simply recognize the divine fingerprint in the meeting. You will sense the same spirit moving between you, a quiet confirmation that says, "We've met before, not here, but in purpose, but in." Together you will build not kingdoms of ego, but havens of grace. You will plant gardens where ashes once fell, speak life where silence lingered, and stand as living proof that light always finds light. The darkness cannot divide what heaven has designed to unite. You are entering a season where unity will multiply your impact. The solitary chapter is ending. The shared mission begins. Heaven is positioning you beside those who understand without explanation, who love without condition, and who see the same vision reflected in your eyes. When the marked ones walk together, the earth feels it. The ground remembers Eden, and the atmosphere bends toward glory. You are part of that remembrance, a living echo of God's dream for creation harmony, courage, and relentless love. And though the world may never grasp it fully, heaven watches with pride, for the marked ones are rising, and among them you walk, glowing with the same fire that first said, "Let there be light." Chosen one. There comes a sacred hour when heaven itself begins to applaud. It's not the sound of clapping hands or thunderous praise, it's the vibration of divine delight. You felt it before in whispers, a peace that suddenly floods your chest, a moment where time slows and something inside you knows. Heaven is pleased. You may not realize it, but every act of obedience has echoed through eternity. Every time you forgave when bitterness would have been easier, heaven leaned closer. Every time you trusted in silence, angels took note. Every time you chose light over vengeance, joy over despair, humility over pride, heaven's applause filled the unseen. There's a misconception that heaven celebrates only great deeds, miracles, sermons, grand gestures, but no, chosen one. Heaven's applause is loudest in the small moments of surrender, the quiet acts of faith no one witnessed, the decision to pray again after disappointment, the courage to love after betrayal. Those are the moments that shake the throne room with divine approval. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 23, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness." Those words are not distant, they hover near you now. The master's joy is rising over your life. You have proven faithful in little, and heaven prepares to entrust you with much. Not because you chased greatness, but because you served quietly when no one saw. You became trustworthy in obscurity, and heaven never forgets faithfulness. You may think your progress has been slow, but heaven measures differently. Heaven counts tears as testimony, silence as worship, perseverance as victory. Every time you said yes when it cost you comfort, you advanced more than you knew. Heaven applauds not the speed of your journey, but the sincerity of your steps. Chosen one, you've spent so long enduring that you almost forgot joy was part of the promise. But joy is coming, not the fleeting kind that depends on circumstances, but the deep, unshakable kind that flows from divine satisfaction. It's the joy of knowing you stayed the course, the peace of realizing you didn't give up when you had every reason to. Heaven's applause is not noise, it's affirmation. It's God's way of saying, "I see you. I am proud of you. I never missed a moment of your faithfulness." When you cried thinking no one understood, He did. When you felt forgotten, He whispered your name among angels. You were never unseen. You were being celebrated in silence. And now, heaven begins to display what it has already decreed. You will notice a shift favor following your footsteps, grace flowing effortlessly. It's not reward for performance, it's the harvest of perseverance. The seeds you sowed in tears are blooming in secret gardens. The applause is turning into acceleration. Every area where you planted faith will soon show fruit. Every time you chose to serve rather than strive, something eternal took root. And those roots are breaking through now. Heaven applauds not because you finished perfectly, but because you finished faithfully. Sometimes the applause of heaven manifests as peace so deep it silences anxiety. Sometimes it comes as unexpected favor, doors opening without striving, relationships restored without effort, strength returning when you thought you had none left. That's heaven saying, "You've done well." And when heaven claps, all creation responds. The same winds that once opposed you will begin to carry you. The same people who once doubted you will see light where they saw loss. Heaven's applause is contagious. It stirs redemption in everything it touches. Chosen one. Pause for a moment and let that truth sink in. You've been applauded by heaven. The applause isn't earned, it's embraced. It's the sound of grace recognizing endurance. You've been faithful, you've been refined, and now you're being revealed. Don't downplay it. Don't rush past it. Let the weight of divine joy rest upon you. You've carried burdens long enough. Now carry blessing. The applause of heaven is not an ending, it's a new beginning marked by trust, by peace, by radiant favor. And as heaven continues to celebrate your obedience, remember this joy is only a glimpse of eternity's welcome. The day will come when the same voice that guided you through shadows will say again, "Well done." And when it does, the applause you hear now will seem like a whisper compared to the symphony that awaits. Chosen one. You've walked through awakening, through refining, through the whispers and the silence, and now you've arrived at your eternal commission. This is the chapter where your purpose stretches beyond yourself. The crown you carry isn't meant to be displayed, it's meant to be distributed. The glory resting upon you was never for possession, but for service. God doesn't call the comfortable, He calls the faithful. You have proven both your endurance and your surrender. Now heaven says, go. Go and awaken others. Go and become the echo of every word you once needed to hear. You are no longer the seeker of light, you are the bearer of it. The Spirit spoke in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. That is your identity, not a flicker struggling to survive, but a flame meant to spread. Your voice, your kindness, your presence, your story each is a lamp waiting to illuminate another heart still wandering in the dark. The mission of your life is simple yet sacred to shine. You don't need a stage for this, nor an audience. The commission isn't about crowds, it's about connection. Every conversation that carries truth, every act that reflects grace, every moment you choose compassion over indifference, that's ministry. You've been commissioned to heal with your life itself. Heaven doesn't measure success in numbers, but in ripples, how far love travels after it leaves your hands. The ripple begins small, but it reaches far. Every seed of kindness sown in faith becomes a forest in eternity. That's what your calling truly is, not a task, but a tree whose roots are in heaven and whose branches touch the earth. Chosen one, this commission will stretch you. It will call you to speak when silence feels safer, to forgive when bitterness feels justified, to keep shining when the world grows cold. But you won't be alone. The same Spirit that carried you through fire now flows through you as living water. Wherever you go, heaven moves with you. You may not always see the fruit immediately, but don't underestimate what a single act of love can do. One kind word can reroute despair. One prayer can awaken hope in a heart long silent. One spark of faith can ignite generations. And now, as this mission takes root in your spirit, imagine this space, these words, this connection as a living altar. Each time you return, you're adding another stone of remembrance. Together, we are building something sacred, not of bricks and wood, but of truth and testimony. If these words have met you in your journey, if they've been a light in your dark valley, consider lighting a candle in return. Not a literal one, but a symbolic flame, a gesture that says, I believe in this light enough to keep it glowing for someone else. That might mean offering prayer, sharing these words, or sowing a gift so the message continues to reach those still wandering. It's not a duty, it's devotion. Think of it as tending a fire in a storm. Every small act, a comment, a share, a contribution becomes another log laid on the embers. Together, we keep the flame alive, not for fame, but for faith. If this message stirred something within you, whisper your yes by adding your spark click like to let heaven know you heard. Share it so the flame travels further. Subscribe to keep walking beside this river of revelation. Each gesture, however small, is another ripple of light. And if your spirit feels moved, write a few words below a comment, a prayer, a thought. Think of it as carving your name softly into this altar of light, leaving a trace of your journey for another pilgrim to find. Sometimes, a single sentence you share becomes the spark someone else has been waiting for. If your heart feels led, donate not as obligation but as offering. Like pouring oil into a lamp, it ensures the glow remains steady, guiding another soul through their midnight hour. You're not funding words, you're fueling witness, a divine partnership between your generosity and heaven's reach. The eternal commission isn't about doing more, it's about becoming more. You are heaven's extension on earth, a vessel of restoration, a messenger of mercy. The same God who called you from the shadows now sends you into the world not to strive, but to shine. Chosen one, your story no longer belongs only to you. It belongs to those still waiting for proof that light survives the night. Carry it gently, share it boldly, and let your life be the sermon that never ends. Chosen one, the world you step into now feels different. The air seems charged, time moves with rhythm, and even the ordinary glows faintly with purpose. You have entered what heaven calls the age of radiant dominion, a season where you rule not by strength of will, but by purity of heart. This is not dominance born from pride, but dominion born from surrender. You no longer lead from fear or desperation. You lead through stillness, through grace, through the quiet weight of divine confidence. Dominion in heaven's language isn't about control. It's about harmony. It's when everything around you begins to align with the truth that already lives within you. When light fully awakens inside a soul, darkness stops negotiating, it flees. That is the authority you now carry. It is not the roar of human ambition, but the hum of divine alignment. You walk with heaven's frequency, and creation begins to respond. According to what is written in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." That word rule has been misunderstood for generations. It was never about conquest, it was about stewardship. Dominion means restoration, bringing things back to the order they were meant to have. You are part of that restoration. Wherever you walk, peace follows. Wherever you speak, chaos stills. You don't force change, you embody it. Your presence itself has become a decree. When you enter a room, atmospheres shift. The storms that once intimidated you now look for your command. You have learned that true power doesn't always shout, it breathes. The whisper of a righteous soul carries more authority than the roar of 1,000 proud hearts. Radiant dominion is not about ruling over others, but ruling over yourself. Your thoughts, your emotions, your impulses. You've discovered the throne within the seat where divine peace reigns. From that seat, you see differently. You no longer react from wounds, you respond from wisdom. You no longer chase outcomes, you create them through alignment with heaven's flow. The light within you no longer flickers, it burns steady. It has matured beyond passion and entered the realm of purpose. That light doesn't need to convince anyone of its power. It simply shines, and everything else finds its place. That is how kingship in the spirit works, effortless authority born from surrender. The age you now stand in is both personal and global. Heaven is raising radiant souls across the earth, individuals who don't seek crowns, but carry presence. Their radiance is their rulership. The meek, as the scripture says, shall inherit the earth, because meekness is strength disciplined by grace. You are part of that company. Your light has graduated from survival into stewardship. The same world that once resisted you will now look to you for guidance. And you will lead not through demands, but through demonstration. The way you love will teach. The way you forgive will reign. The way you remain calm amid chaos will become a blueprint for others still learning peace. Chosen one, dominion doesn't mean absence of challenge. It means immunity from defeat. Problems may come, but they will no longer unsettle you. Storms may rise, but you'll know when to speak and when to rest. The very rhythm of heaven will pulse through your choices. And as you walk in this authority, remember, light must always stay humble. You do not glow for attention, you glow for direction. Your radiance is meant to guide, not blind. The world will feel your warmth and find its way home through it. This is the hour of quiet kings and gentle warriors, those who lead with love, who rule through mercy, who stand tall without needing thrones. You have become one of them. The age of radiant dominion is not some distant prophecy. It is your present reality. The light you carry will not fade with time, it will multiply, spreading through every word, every gesture, every moment of stillness that bears heaven's reflection. Walk in it, chosen one. Let your peace speak louder than any argument, your kindness travel further than any sermon, and your presence remain long after your words are gone. For when you rule with light, everything broken learns how to heal again. Chosen one, the heavens are quiet again, but this time, it's not because of testings, it's reverence. All of creation stands still, gazing at what you've become. The long journey of breaking and building, of silence and revelation, has reached its divine conclusion. You are no longer the seeker trembling in the dark. You have become the living reflection of light itself. Even God, in His infinite wisdom, delights in what He has formed. The same hands that molded stars and mountains shaped your story, and now He beholds the finished work with joy. What you once called pain, heaven calls process. What you once called delay, heaven calls design. Nothing was wasted, not one tear, not one sleepless night. Every fragment has found its place in the masterpiece called you. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. That light has come not from outside, but from within." It is the quiet radiance that cannot be borrowed or bought. It is the glow that only surrender produces. It's the kind of light that doesn't demand attention yet cannot be ignored. You wear it now without effort, like the morning wears dawn. Heaven looks upon you and remembers every stage of your becoming. When you wept but still prayed. When you were rejected but still believed. When you walked through fire and still sang. Those moments were the brushstrokes of eternity painting endurance into your soul. Now the finished portrait shines a soul refined, a heart steadfast, a vessel filled with divine fire. You are not who you were. You've transcended the need for recognition. You no longer seek signs because you've become one. You are the living evidence that faith still works, that grace still redeems, that love still wins. The world will look at you and see not perfection, but peace, and that peace will preach louder than any sermon. The Father's gaze rests upon you, not with pity but with pride. The trials that once bruised you became the training that prepared you. The doubts that once clouded you became the depth that grounds you. Even your mistakes, redeemed by mercy, Now serve as maps for others still wandering through their wilderness. Chosen one, this is your moment of divine recognition, the silent applause of heaven echoing in your spirit. You've done what many would not. You believed when belief hurt. You stood when standing felt impossible. You gave when you had nothing left but faith. That kind of obedience moves heavens. God was not impressed by your perfection. He was moved by your perseverance. You kept walking when you couldn't see. You kept trusting when everything shouted otherwise. You kept loving when you had every reason not to. That is why heaven celebrates you. Not because you arrived quickly, but because you arrived faithfully. Now the mantle shifts from tested to trusted, from hidden to heralded. You no longer wait for instruction. You walk as instruction. You carry the answers you once begged for. Your very presence speaks healing into places still breaking. Your peace dismantles panic. Your wisdom disarms confusion. You've become what heaven envisioned: light that does not flicker, truth that does not falter, love that does not fail. Even the air around you feels different, calmer, clearer, charged with divine certainty. The same spirit that once whispered comfort now releases command through you. The earth will feel the echo of your obedience. Chosen one, lift your eyes. The horizon no longer looks distant, it looks familiar. You've grown into the destiny that once frightened you. You've stepped into the rhythm of divine maturity, where doing and being have become one. Heaven doesn't need to send new instructions because you've become the message. And so the story ends not with an exclamation, but with stillness, the sacred stillness of completion. The sculptor rests his hands, smiling at the form he shaped. The potter looks at the clay and whispers, "It is good." Heaven is impressed, not because you became flawless, but because you became faithful. You have become everything God dreamed, and in that silent awe, heaven's applause sounds like peace. Chosen one, before we close this sacred journey, pause and breathe. You've walked through revelation, through fire, through awakening, and now you stand clothed in calm glory. This isn't the end of your story, it's the beginning of your becoming. What you carry now is not merely inspiration, it's inheritance. Every word you've read was a mirror for what already lived inside you. Heaven didn't send this message to entertain your mind, but to awaken your mission. Now the world awaits the light you found, and though these words will end, their echo will continue through you. If these words have met you in your moment, let their light travel further. Click like not as habit, but as holy acknowledgement that something inside you has shifted. Share it, the way torches were once passed from hand to hand in the dark, quietly, reverently, purposefully. If your spirit feels stirred, leave a comment, a line, a prayer, a truth. Let it be a trail of light for another soul who will walk here after you. Someone you will never meet may read your words and find the courage to keep breathing. And if your heart whispers to give, donate not out of pressure, but as partnership. Imagine pouring a few drops of oil into the lamp that has warmed you, ensuring it stays lit for others. Every act of generosity is a continuation of the message love made visible. Finally, subscribe not to content, but to calling. Stay connected, stay growing, stay radiant. For the same heaven that led you here will keep leading you onward. The light doesn't stop at the end of a page, it lives in you now.